If you want to navigate to your Google Classroom for the first time, or if you're returning, the way to do it is to go ahead and put in classroom.google.com, or if you're already signed in to your Gmail account that you want to use for your classroom, you can go to the Google Apps here and go ahead and click there. You're going to have to go to More, and then there's the Google Classroom there. So either way is fine. When you go ahead and get in it, then it's going to change to this view, and you're going to notice that you're not going to have any classrooms. Instead, you're going to add a class, and this is the create or join class area. Now, in order to add a class, go ahead and click that and just go ahead and create a class. When you create a class, you have to say that you've read and understand the above notice, which is that you're not using you're not using Classroom at a school or university with students. So go ahead and click that you've read that and continue. Okay, so what we're going to do is just go ahead and create the class by putting our first and last name so the student can recognize it, and whatever the class that you want to create, go ahead and put that after it. I'm going to put writing. The sections really, it's up to you if you want a section, but I'm just going to put it there because I want to show you where it ends up later. The subject, however, it appears like this. It kind of comes up in the class view for the student and for yourself. So that will appear. So we're going to go ahead and say English right here. It doesn't have to be one of these, but I'm going to go ahead and select that. Maybe just English. Room is something that's optional, but since we're doing an online session here, I'm going to go ahead and say online session. However, you don't have to put that in even. It's really just to show you where it comes up. And basically, if you are going to meet a student somewhere, you can put the location in the room section. And then we'll just create the class. So now that you've created your class, you might want to know some of the just main tabs and links that are there. And I'm just going to go over those really quickly so you know where everything is, and then we'll go more into detail about some of them when we go on. So the main tabs are the stream, the classwork, and the people. So the stream is what you're in initially, and it's pretty much the post that you or your students or both have done, and it's in a sequential order of time. So the most recent to the oldest, pretty much. And that's not really the most important tab that you'll be using, or the one you'll be using the most. The most used is usually the classwork tab, where you can create assignments, quiz assignments, questions, materials, reuse posts, and topics. Those are the main things that you'll be doing, and pretty much this is an example of a topic. Start here. Here's an example of a material. Let's bring a scientific calculator to class, and you have a quiz example here. Also, you have your calendar here, your Google Calendar that you can access from here, and you have your Drive folders that you can access from there as well. And then the next tab is the People tab, where you can invite a teacher or you can invite students. And you can also email students from here as well. Then the next thing that is of interest is this wheel right here. This is the class settings wheel, and you have all the things that when you created your class the first time. You have the ability to change things. So I just kind of spelled something wrong. So we'll just change that. Okay, and then it will be updated when you save it here. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to show you in that tab is that you have the class code. We're very important. You'll be using that a lot. You can disable it, reset it, copy it, and display it. So pretty much your class code is very needed for the students, and then the stream comments, you can decide whether you want your students to post or comment, and whether or not you want them only yourself to post and comment here. And pretty much that's it, besides deleting, showing deleted items. Now we'll just cover really quickly what's over in the menu tab here. This is you have something, the classroom main menu. So you have your calendar there as well. Your to-do, which is whether students have turned in the assignments. You have something to look at or turned in or missing things. And your classes are all here. You can click on another class from this tab and go into it. You can go into your settings here and go ahead and change your profile picture, or change the manager settings. This is your Google service managing that account, the whole account, the security, everything. And your email notifications, you can turn them on and off. All these settings, you can pretty much just toggle them on and off here. So that's pretty much the entire thing, except for one little part of it. So I'm going to show you the only thing I left out. And when you're in the stream tab, you see a couple of links. There's the about, the select a theme, and the upload photos. So about pretty much gives you a lot of the same stuff that's in that setting wheel, but like less of it. So that this is a view that would be seen pretty much from your students. They would see the subject and the classroom here when they would be in their own version of your class. And then we have the select a theme. You can change your theme from here, patterns, and all of that. And here you can upload your photos, so you can make your own background theme, and that's where you would do it right there. So that's pretty much everything in your class, and just a really snapshot view of it. So if you want to go ahead and create materials that you want students to bring to the class, you can go to the classwork tab and go ahead and create that under create. You hit the plus and go ahead and go to material, and you can assign it to anybody that you want. So you can say all students, or pick particular students, and then in their view of their classroom it'll show up if you did select them. So that's how you would choose like who to assign it to. But we're going to go ahead and give it a title. Okay, so we're going to tell them to bring a scientific calculator. We're going to put a link to that calculator, which will actually show up in their view as clickable. And I'm not going to do a topic for this or any of these. I'm just going to go ahead and post it. Now, if you wanted to delete it, I'll go into an example of how to delete it. Just go ahead and click those little 3 dots and then delete it. Delete. And if you wanted to edit it, you can go in there and edit it as well. But we already have it, so let's just go into it, and it's posted there. The only thing I want to mention about it really is that you can't really drag it anywhere. It's going to end up at the bottom all the time, and at least in your view, you'll see it on the bottom. And there's no way you can like kind of move it up to the top. You can pull it all you want, but you'll be, just doing nothing. It's not rearrangeable. So if you really want, in your view, to see it on top, it would be the first kind of post that you'd have to do. Otherwise, it's going to come out on the bottom, because the very last thing that you post as a material will come up on the bottom of your view. And hopefully they'll change that at some point where everything will be draggable. But until then, at least we have materials in one place, and that's the classwork tab. It's different in the student's view. They're only seeing
you're going to want
the things
to
that you're actually
have your
assigning
student
them.
know exactly what
So
to do when they come to
if you
class.
have assignments
in the instructional
that you
video
make
that
in
you'll
this
put here
tab,
under an assignment,
you're going to be able to
so
choose
you'll
who
give
gets
each
what,
of your new students
and
an instructional
the assignments
of how
will
to
appear
proceed
in
in your
their
class.
screen
They'll
if you
see
have
that when they
assigned
come
it
into
to
your
them.
class first.
But when
It's
you
important to
you
note that
can
the materials will be on
do
top,
a lot with it,
and then the
for
start here
actually
will
letting
be,
the student
like, say,
know
underneath
how to come
it, and with
equipped
an
to your tutoring
instructional
session,
of
or
what you
what
want
you would
the
like from them.
student to
That's
do.
under materials. So
That's an overview of everything,
and
now we'll get
notifications,
into
and
a little
then
bit more
your
of how to
whole
use each
Google
tool.
account. So that's pretty much the surface. It's different in the student's view. They're only seeing the things that you're actually assigning them. So if you have assignments that you make in this tab, you're going to be able to choose who gets what, and the assignments will appear in their screen if you have assigned it to them.
We're going to go ahead and go to the People tab and actually add people to the class. So we're going to need another teacher, so we're going to invite a teacher. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. And then I'm going to invite this person as a teacher. Now, I clicked on this side because you can email the person or remove them from this invite once they've actually joined into the class. So now we're going to add a student to the class. So we have the teachers here, and we're going to go right past it and to students, and go ahead and click this little symbol to invite students. And we'll go ahead and type the email address of the student that we're inviting in there. And it's going to go ahead and populate there, and you'll just click on the student and go ahead and push invite. So when you first invite the student, you'll notice that it's going to be kind of grayed out a bit. It's not going to be like, if you notice how colorful these are, it's not quite so colorful, but once the student does answer your invite, they will be in there, and it'll show as if they're already into your class. So
This is a snippet from an email. So this is what your student's going to see when they look at their email. It's a invite from you saying your class, and what they need to do is just go ahead and click that. And once they click it, they're taken to a Google Class view inside of that email, and they just want to join. So as long as they accept your email and join, they'll be taken to your class.
Okay, now what we're going to do is create an event, which is in classwork here,
And the reason why I say create an event is it doesn't look like that's what we're doing, but that's what we're doing so we can create a hangout. So we're going to click create and go ahead and do an assignment. So from the assignment here, we'll put the time. So let's just say 3 o'clock tutoring. I do want to add some instructions there. Let's just say turn off your camera, just in case the student wants to have their privacy. And we don't need the point system, so we'll say ungraded and go ahead and put both the date and time, because events don't work unless there's both a date and time. So how about we go ahead and select a due date of, we'll push it out here a little bit, and the time of 3 o'clock, like we said. Okay, so we've got 3 o'clock, and when it comes to a topic, I actually am going to assign a topic because I want them to see a start here so they'll know what where the 3 o'clock class will meet. Okay, so we'll see where the start here comes out, and go ahead and assign that. Here we have start here, and it says 3 p.m. tutoring. And now we're going to have to do another step, and that's go ahead and click on the Google Calendar that's on the same tab, the classwork tab. Okay, in our calendar, you'll see that there's an assignment here. And when you click on the assignment, you'll go ahead and go into it, and then we'll have to change the settings there. Okay, now it's popped up with this box, and you'll see we're in it, but it doesn't have a way to join the Hangout. So we're going to go ahead and click Edit Event here, and scroll down to the part that says Add Conferencing. Now you're going to click on that and just go ahead and select Hangout, and then you're going to save it. Now it turns into a Hangout, so it says event saved, and then when we go into it now, it's going to be a Hangout right here. See, it's a clickable Hangout. So it shows as an assignment for 3 o'clock tutoring, and your students will also have this in their calendar and be able to see it and go ahead and join from their calendar. It automatically creates a student calendar that's going to be identical to your class calendar, and they'll see it inside of the class calendar and be able to just click this to join easily. Here we're going to go ahead and go into a quiz. This is under create, and then select quiz assignment. Here I have an example of a quiz assignment, and this is it, the quiz of the day. So basically, when you're creating a quiz, you can go ahead and add, you get a blank quiz which you can assign. So let me just show you that real quick. So create quiz assignment, and it would be the title here. So quiz of the day was the title. Any instructions you might want to give your students, you know, what it might, anything that comes to mind that you want to say to them. And you can change the points. I made it 150, and you select a due date. If you want it to be a topic, you can select that. You can add other things, just the same choices as any assignment, any of these things here, and you just go ahead and assign it, which you can assign it now, or it's you can schedule it and such. So once you assign it, you can assign it to particular students or a group of students, and whoever does get the quiz will show up in the student's view, and they'll be able to go ahead and take that quiz, submit it, and you'll see whether or not it has actually been done when you go to view assignment here. So if you push that, you'll see who's turned it in or who hasn't in that view. So now we're going to go ahead and create a question under the classwork tab. So go ahead and navigate to create and go down to the question section and then put your question in. After you do that, you can go ahead and write instructions, give a point system to it, or have it ungraded. I'm going to go ahead and make it 120 points for this. And if you want a due date, then it'll actually come out in part that shows up, you know, giving you whether your student did it or missed it. So I'm going to go ahead and create a date. And now you get to decide whether or not you want to add something to this, but I'm not going to add anything. But students can reply to each other. It's fine, because if you do it in a group or you want it done in a group, that's, you know, how you would check it. If you just want them doing it, students can edit answer. You can turn that on too, but I don't want them to edit it. I do want them to reply to each other. And you can choose to schedule it, ask, or save the draft. We're just going to go ahead and ask the question. Okay, so we have it here. Now, let me just go down and show it to you. So this is the question, and when you actually get an answer, you'll be able to view it just like the other assignments and such that you chose a date for, because now they're assigned it and you can see whether they have completed the assignment or not. So that's asking a question. Our objective here is to get the URL from our Hangout in the browser bar and copy and paste it so that the student will know how to navigate to your Hangout. They'll have it both in the start here, that's in classwork, and they'll be assigned it so that they won't miss your Hangout when they're assigned that Hangout.
Window, and it'll come up if it's right. But for now, we're going to go ahead and add that to here. So we've done the assignment, but we want them to actually have more to it because we want them to actually be able to join from here as well. Okay, so it has to be in this view in order to edit it. It's going to be the menu bar, the three little dots. You'll click here and you'll click edit. And we're going to go ahead and add the link in here. So we're going and clicking this little link, and I'm going to go ahead and just drop that whole URL of our Hangout in there. Just making sure that I have the whole thing, and it's all there. Okay, so I'm going to say add link. Wouldn't hurt to test it out just to make sure, but I know it's right because I tested it earlier, and I'll click save. Now this way, when your student goes in, it's going to look like this. They had an assignment, but now they have a link. So they can just click that link, mark it as done after they actually go into your class.
Okay, here's a quick note about making an assignment. When you're in assignments, there's not just the assign tab. If you click to the side here, you can also schedule an assignment or save a draft. Also, it is good to note that when you do assign an assignment, it can be assigned to individual students. you can have a group of students or a particular student that you're assigning assignments to. So if you have a 3 o'clock tutoring, you can make sure to schedule or assign that 3 o'clock tutoring to all the students that would be in that 3 o'clock tutoring. This is kind of where you decide who, and if you are gonna schedule it, it's scheduling it for later. See, if you save it as a draft, you'll see it like this. It'll be a draft. Sometimes you want to pick which students you assign homework to, or an assignment, or anything that you happen to be working with the other person on. So let's go ahead and click this button and select which people we want to have the assignment. So if I want to be selective and say I only want this person to have the assignment, then I need to click off all the others and go ahead and go here and decide what I want done with this. So if this is like a slide for the students to watch, I don't want them to actually do anything to it. So I'm going to say view the file, that the students can only view the file. But now say if it's something that I need them to work in, and homework, getting someone prepped for a homework assignment or a quiz or something like that, maybe you want them to fill in something. So you might want to say make a copy for each student if there's more than one student. And that way they can turn it in individually. Or you can have it to where the students can edit the file. It depends on, say if you're having an assignment that is actually maybe creating the document in a different way or transforming it if it's a group of people. Once your student is assigned an assignment, this is what it looks like from their point of view. So the student will have in their classwork tab here a view your work, and as you can see, they're seeing what you gave them. When they click that, they're taken to exactly what would be assigned or what would be missing. The student would see themselves and what's assigned, what's returned graded or missing. See, it's missing here. They didn't turn it in, and here it's assigned. So that's what it looks like from the student perspective. This is what it looks like when a student joins your class. So they could go ahead and have your code, and they would just go to their classroom at classroom.google.com. When they get in there, they're going to go to the plus, and they're going to push join class, and then they would enter your class code. So in this case, we'll put that one in, and as you see, it's joining. This is the Dropbox that I use, and you can go ahead and follow the same set of instructions from the guru. That's how I actually created this Dropbox, and it works perfectly and very easy instructions. You get a Dropbox that it basically gets uploaded whatever they put in. It has their name, the file attached, and they just have to push, upload the file, and it goes straight to the Dropbox inside of your Google Drive. So that's just a little tip if you need an extra way for someone to turn something into you. However, I do need to mention that you're going to want to get rid of a lot of those things afterwards, or you could fill up your Google Drive. And it might be unnecessary for some people because you also have the assignments that you can assign. So you can do a saved draft or something that you can reuse and ask students for their homework that way, just in a regular assignment, so that they can show you what they need to work in, and by taking a picture that way. So it just depends. This is just an extra if you happen to need this feature. This is the Guru YouTube video so that you can reference it. I'm including this section on a whiteboard because it's really important for online tutoring. In order to convey the math problems fairly easily and quickly, you can do it freehand. It might not turn out looking so great. Or you can spend time and use the lettering and, draw the straight lines. It's all up to you and how fast you want to do it. And it's not like latex or things like that are time consuming. They have a really quick and easy to use toolbar that has all the options that you can just kind of combine some of the lettering with the drawing in, make it fast, and you can share it with your students. So you would just go ahead and click the plus symbol here and allow everyone to edit it so that you can have a tutoring tool to use with your students that you're tutoring. And it's as easy as copying the link and pretty much giving it to them. So that is awwapp.com.